Today on the deep dive, we're uncovering something really fundamental about human resilience, inner peace, and the surprising power of a pretty simple emotion.
It's something we all grapple with, isn't it? Those
Mhm.
moments. Life throws its absolute toughest challenges at you.
Exactly. When the path seems, I don't know, obscured, or you feel the weight of your own patterns just holding you back.
Right. And it's in those moments, those crucible moments, that we often look for a compass, some kind of guide.
And often the most profound insights, the real wisdom, it comes from those who've, well, walked through their own personal hells.
hmm And emerged with this wisdom that's been forged in that very struggle. You can feel the weight of experience behind it.
Totally. Which brings us to today's deep dive. We're getting into the extraordinary mind of Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. And specifically, we're looking at his collection of writings as Bill sees it.
Which is, it's like a direct window, isn't it, into his personal reflections, his battles.
Yeah. His revelations, the things he figured out along the way. And they still offer such deep guidance.
They really do. And not just for people in recovery, I think, but really for anyone navigating, the complexities of being human.
Absolutely.
So our mission today, if you will, is to explore a real cornerstone of Bill Wilson's philosophy, his profound insights on gratitude.
Gratitude. Seems simple, but the way Bill saw it.
Right. The core insight he unearthed. It's that gratitude isn't just some pleasant feeling that washes over you. It's an active psychological force.
Like a tool, almost.
Exactly. Maybe the ultimate weapon against self-obsession, a direct counterattack on the ego.
Mm. And that fundamentally rewires how we perceive ourselves, how we see the world. It unlocks this genuine, sustainable transformation.
Yeah, his reflections on gratitude, they offer this surprisingly robust guide for living a full life. And we're going to unpack just how he got there, how he arrived at that conclusion.
And the brilliance of this, I think, lies in how Bill's personal revelations, born from his own really harrowing battles with addiction,
Right.
they get distilled into these universal truths. They resonate far beyond the specific context of recovery rooms.
That's so true.
And we're going to explore how gratitude for Bill wasn't just about feeling good or, being polite.
No, it's much deeper.
It's about a fundamental, almost radical shift in perspective, one that actively disarms, dismantles the ego.
Totally redefines our relationship with ourselves
Yeah,
and with the world around us.
exactly. It's a transformative power, right at its core, offering a kind of blueprint for a life truly well-lived.
Okay, so to really appreciate the power, the depth of Bill's insights on gratitude later on, we first need to understand the absolute abyss he came from.
Yeah, you can't separate the insight from the struggle.
No way.
Yeah.
This wasn't abstract philosophy dreamed up in some comfortable study. This was wisdom forged in the furnace of devastating despair.
Mm.
The records we looked at, they paint this stark, almost unimaginable picture of his life before recovery. He drank as much as his purse permitted for years.
Just a relentless self-destructive cycle.
Yeah, and it spiraled into this period where he described himself as suicidal, evaluating every part of my life for what could be wrong.
Wow. That's heavy. It wasn't just, having a few too many.
Not at all. It was a profound existential crisis. A crisis of the soul, really.
Indeed. And the depth of his suffering is just crucial context here. The historical accounts, like in the Big Book, describe his drinking culminating in this horrific 60 days around-the-clock binge,
60 days around the clock.
where he literally intended to drink myself to death.
It's hard to even wrap your head around that.
It really is. And it's not just a dramatic turn of phrase, is it? It's a terrifying testament to the total surrender. Physical, mental, spiritual surrender to alcohol.
It highlights the absolute all-consuming nature of his addiction, where just living became unbearable.
And self-destruction seemed like the only way out.
He reached that point where, as he put it, his self-confidence was no good whatever against alcohol. He acknowledged complete, utter defeat of his own will.
That's rock bottom, in its purest, most desperate form. You can't get much lower than actively trying to end it all through drinking.
Okay, so imagine that. The sheer gut-wrenching despair of aiming to drink yourself to death. And then, in that absolute abyss, something extraordinary happens.
A turning point.
Yeah. How does one move from such absolute suicidal despair, this place of utter hopelessness, to a psychological and spiritual landscape where concepts like gratitude, spiritual awakening, they don't just become possible, they become the foundation of a new life.
It feels almost miraculous, doesn't it?
It really does. And for someone at that absolute rock bottom, how does the idea of powerlessness, which, let's face it, sounds like giving up, how does that actually become the source of hope? It seems backward.
That's the profound paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right at the heart of Bill's journey, and really the journey of many in recovery. It really begs the question, how can admitting you're utterly powerless be the starting point for reclaiming your life?
Right. It feels like admitting defeat.
It does. But as the book Not God describes it, Bill found hope in this very proclamation of hopelessness. It's deeply counterintuitive, yet it's precisely at that point, when you finally truly realize your old way, your own power, isn't working, that you can't conquer this alone, that's when you finally drop your weapons.
You surrender.
You surrender. It's like being lost in a thick fog, right? You keep pushing forward, trying harder, convinced you can find the way out on your own.
Yeah.
But it's only when you stop, finally admit, I am lost, that you can actually look for a map, or maybe ask someone else for directions.
That makes sense.
Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. It's that moment, the moment the old failing system is truly abandoned.
Letting go of the illusion of control.
Exactly. It's the essential humility required to open yourself up to a different path, to something beyond your own failing self-will. It creates the opening.
And then, after hitting that deepest point of surrender, came what Bill describes not as some slow dawning realization, but as an instantaneous illumination.
Yeah, not gradual, sudden.
Like a switch flipped. It wasn't an intellectual decision, not a gradual understanding. It was a sudden, profound shift, almost like a spiritual lightning bolt hit him.
And this happened after he cried out in total desperation, if there is a God, will he show himself?
Yeah. And he describes being seized with great joy and ecstasy beyond all possible expression, feeling a great peace fell over me. That's from the language of the heart.
Incredible language.
It was a foundational spiritual awakening. It just entirely reshaped his understanding of himself, of the universe, ripped open his whole reality.
And this experience, this illumination, it's such a crucial turning point because it represents this profound shift away from that state of intense self-centeredness.
Which addiction thrives on.
Exactly. Russell Brand, actually, in his work, he defines the addictive condition really well. He says it's where one's own feelings become the ontological center of the world.
Meaning everything revolves around me, my desires, my comfort, my pain.
Precisely. Bill's illumination, though, it propelled him from that inward, ego-driven focus to an outward, grateful perspective.
A complete 180.
A complete 180. And this is where profound change truly begins. His experience highlights that the path to spiritual progress, and maybe to profound inner peace too, often starts with personal defeat.
Hitting bottom.
Hitting bottom, and then having a radical willingness to seek something beyond yourself. It's like an emptying of the self, shedding that old, self-obsessed identity.
To make space.
To make space, to be filled with something far greater, more expansive. And this willingness to surrender, to receive, that's the fertile ground where gratitude can truly blossom.
Okay, so that profound shift in Bill's life, that spiritual awakening, it really laid the groundwork for his most powerful insights later on.
Definitely. The foundation was set.
And he then distilled this wisdom into these incredibly direct, almost challenging statements about how gratitude fundamentally reshapes us.
Yeah, he didn't mince words.
No. And there's one passage in particular from As Bill Sees It that just perfectly captures this. It's really the heart of our deep dive today. Bill writes, I try hard to hold fast to the truth that a full and thankful heart cannot entertain great conceits.
Powerful first part.
And then, when brimming with gratitude, one's heartbeat must surely result in outgoing love, the finest emotion that we can ever know.
Wow. What a statement. It connects the inner state to outer action so beautifully.
It really does. So much packed into those two sentences.
The brilliance of it, I think, lies in that direct correlation he makes between a full and thankful heart and the inability to entertain great conceits.
Let's unpack great conceits. What did he mean by that?
Well, when Bill talks about great conceits, he's really pinpointing that dangerous human tendency toward arrogance, self-importance.
Thinking you're the center of the universe.
Exactly. And the illusion of total self-sufficiency. Like, I don't need anyone or anything. It's the ego's protective shell. But paradoxically, it keeps us isolated. It prevents genuine growth.
It's that voice telling you, I've got this, even when you're clearly drowning.
Right. Often leading to bigger problems down the line. This big shotism, as Bill also called it, it acts as this fundamental barrier. It prevents genuine connection, humility, spiritual progress.
So gratitude becomes the antidote.
Gratitude then becomes the direct counteragent. It actively dissolves that ego-driven self-importance.
Mhm.
A thankful heart literally has no room for that kind of arrogance.
So it's really a call to move beyond what we might call false pride,
Mm.
which, as Daily Reflections points out, can lead to refusing to place God first. We had deprived ourselves of his help. You cut yourself off.
Yeah, that pride isolates you.
And Bill himself, remember, he'd recognized that against alcohol, his self-confidence was no good, whatever. That highlights the critical need to abandon that self-will, that ego, and embrace humility.
And humility, is important to note, isn't about self-abasement or thinking you're worthless.
Right. It's not humiliation.
No. Our sources define it as something much more grounded, more practical. It's a true evaluation of conditions as they are. And importantly, acceptance of myself.
Seeing yourself clearly, flaws and all, without that distorting lens of an inflated ego.
And accepting that reality. It's about right-sizing yourself in the universe.
Okay, so if gratitude counters conceit, and conceit comes from ego and pride, it begs the question, how do we actively choose to let go of these conceits? They're often deeply ingrained, aren't they? They protect our vulnerabilities sometimes, or fuel our sense of self-importance.
Oh, absolutely. It's a challenging internal battle. It's not easy just to decide, I won't be prideful anymore.
So how do we do it, according to the wisdom here?
Well, the sources suggest it starts with acknowledging our limitations, really seeing them clearly.
The humility piece again.
Exactly. And becoming willing to embrace God's will or a higher power or principles outside ourselves when our own best intentions and, let's be honest, our selfish desires inevitably fall short.
When my way clearly isn't working.
Precisely. As Daily Reflections puts it, it's about recognizing that our own flawed efforts, our own self-centered thinking, they're simply insufficient for solving certain deep-seated problems.
You need help?
You need help, and that willingness, that openness, it opens the door for a different, more powerful force to guide us. Whether you call that God or the wisdom of the community or just reality. That willingness is the key. It unlocks the door to genuine humility and then consequently to that profound, liberating gratitude Bill talks about.
That's a really crucial distinction. Okay, so the first part is gratitude dismantling ego. But the second part of Bill's insight is equally transformative, right? Moving from that internal state to a tangible external impact. When brimming with gratitude, one's heartbeat must surely result in outgoing love, the finest emotion that we can ever know.
Yeah, it's not just an internal feeling. It has to express itself outwardly.
It's not just about feeling good inside. It's about action, connection, a ripple effect of positive energy flowing out into the world.
It suggests that true, deep gratitude, it just can't be contained. It naturally overflows into compassion, into action, into love.
It has to go somewhere.
It has to go somewhere. And connecting this idea further, you can see how this outgoing love becomes the real engine of service. Not just within formal recovery programs like AA, but in any healthy community or relationship.
How so?
Well, think about it. When you're truly grateful for what you have, maybe for the help you received when you were struggling, or for second chances, or just for the simple gift of being alive today,
Yeah.
you naturally want to share that abundance, don't you? You want to give back somehow.
It feels almost like an obligation, but a joyful one.
Exactly. And this manifests as, volunteering your time, mentoring someone who's struggling now, offering real support to a friend, or just showing up for your community in small ways.
It echoes those ancient words Bill Wilson understood so deeply. Freely you have received, freely give.
That's a core principle. And service to a higher power, service to our fellow human beings, it's explicitly identified as the key to AA success in some of the literature.
Why the cue?
Because it creates this virtuous cycle. Giving reinforces your own gratitude. It strengthens your own sense of purpose, your own well-being. It takes you out of yourself.
It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's kind of like that saying, the more you give, the more you get, but not necessarily material stuff.
No, it's about a deep internal replenishment, a spiritual return.
And this resonates so powerfully with the AA declaration, which states, I am responsible. When anyone, anywhere, reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA always to be there, and for that, I am responsible.
Such powerful words.
It's not just a mission statement, is it? It's a profound sense of commitment, of communal duty, and it stems directly from that immense life-altering gratitude experienced in recovery.
It speaks to a shared human responsibility, really, born from individual transformation. I got this gift, now I have a responsibility to pass it on.
Okay, so outgoing love towards others makes sense. But you mentioned something earlier about directing it inward, too.
Yes, absolutely critical. This outgoing love isn't solely directed outward. It also extends to our relationship with ourselves, including the crucial act of making amends.
Amends to others we've harmed.
Yes, but importantly, putting ourselves on that list.
Ah, making amends to ourselves. How does that work?
Well, one source, A Woman's Way Through the 12 Steps, puts it beautifully. It notes that we must put ourselves on our list of amends because we have undoubtedly hurt ourselves along the way, probably more deeply than we realize.
Your self-neglect, self-sabotage.
Exactly, all those things. And our recovery itself, the very act of getting better, is described as the living amends we make to ourselves.
That's a lovely way to put it.
Isn't it? And this involves learning to treat ourselves with kindness and respect, actively challenging that harsh self-criticism that so many of us carry.
That inner critic can be brutal.
It really can. And challenging it is identified as a vital part of this outgoing love directed inward. It's about mending the relationship with yourself, recognizing your inherent worthiness, healing those old internal wounds.
And presumably that internal healing makes you better able to love others.
Precisely. That internal healing then empowers us to engage in healthier external relationships and more genuine, impactful service to others.
Yeah.
True gratitude, it seems, it really has to start at home, within our own hearts. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Okay, so this is a profound principle, a powerful ideal. Gratitude dismantling ego, leading to outgoing love both inward and outward. But how do we actually do this? How do we integrate this into daily life, especially when things get tough?
Right. When the rent is late or you're facing health problems or just stuck in traffic,
Yeah.
where's the gratitude then?
Exactly. When old habits or negative thinking threaten to creep back in, it requires a conscious, deliberate shift, doesn't it?
It really does. A shift away from a mindset of complaint or entitlement or poor me.
To one of contribution and deep appreciation, even for small things.
It's an active choice. Every single day, sometimes every single hour.
Yeah. It begs the question for many people who, as one source puts it, come to Al-Anon feeling that we've gotten a raw deal from life.
Mm-hmm. That feeling of injustice.
The initial lament is often, it isn't fair. We've all felt that.
Oh, yeah.
But the Wisdom Bill's insights offer lies in consciously moving beyond that feeling of victimhood. Moving past, it isn't fair, to asking, okay, what can I give here? What can I contribute?
It's such a powerful pivot. And it's not about ignoring hardship or pretending pain doesn't exist. That's not it at all.
No, it's about shifting focus.
It's about a profound shift in focus.
Hmm.
And it's at this pivot point, moving from demanding to offering, that genuine gratitude begins to reshape our entire experience of life.
Turning challenges into opportunities.
Turning what might seem like insurmountable challenges into opportunities for growth, for connection, for contribution. It changes everything.
So, a key part of this daily practice seems to be actively cultivating a positive mindset.
Absolutely key. You're not just passively waiting for gratitude to show up like a surprise guest.
You're setting the table for it.
Exactly. You're actively creating the conditions for it. We're encouraged, for instance, to make an extra effort to counteract those negative self-critical thoughts with positive ones.
How? Like practically.
Well, one suggestion is literally listing things. Listing 5 or 10 things about our day that we have a right to feel good about before we go to sleep.
A gratitude list.
The gratitude list. It sounds simple, maybe even a bit cliche, but it's a deliberate practice, a daily mental exercise, like training a muscle. You're training your brain to look for the good.
Right. And the underlying principle here is fascinating, the idea that thoughts are forces.
Yeah, that's from Ralph Waldo Trimes' In Tune with the Infinite, the idea that like builds like and like attracts like.
So it's not just wishful thinking.
According to this view, no. It's a profound understanding of how our inner world actively shapes our outer reality. By actively choosing gratitude, by consistently focusing on positive thoughts, we are supposedly setting into motion these subtle, silent, and irresistible forces.
That sooner or later will actualize in material form that which is today merely an idea.
Wow. It implies our consistent thoughts literally create our future conditions, which makes gratitude an incredibly powerful, active tool for shaping not just our perception, but maybe even our circumstances.
That's a huge idea. Our thoughts aren't just fleeting sensations, they're active constructors of our reality.
That's the premise.
Which means it involves, as another source put it, training our intellectual processes so that they have enough control over our emotions to enable him to lead a mature, normal life.
training the mind.
It's not about suppressing emotions, right, but developing the mental discipline to manage them.
Exactly. To prevent them from completely dictating our reality, running the whole show. It's a deliberate, ongoing practice of mind management.
Not just an emotion that passively arises and fades.
No, it takes conscious, consistent effort to steer our inner landscape toward gratitude, especially when the external landscape is challenging.
And this daily practice, this commitment to conscious thought and presence, it seems perfectly captured in that famous one day at a time philosophy.
Ah, yes, so simple, yet so profound.
The 24-hour program, as it's sometimes called, it's described as a tool, a gadget even, that has come to mean so much to members.
Mm.
One reflection puts it like this: all I'm guaranteed in life is today. The poorest person has no less, and the wealthiest has no more. Each of us has but one day.
That really levels the playing field, doesn't it? It grounds you right here, right now.
It does. It prevents the mind from spiraling into agonizing over past regrets or projecting terrifying future anxieties.
Both of which can be incredibly overwhelming and paralyzing.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, living one day at a time effectively lifts from our hearts and minds the heavy weight of both past and future.
Heavyweight. That's a good description.
For someone in recovery, or really anyone facing big challenges, grief, money worries, relationship problems dwelling on the past or fearing the future can be so destabilizing.
It can trigger old destructive patterns.
But gratitude for this moment, for today, it provides a daily reprieve, a focus point that allows for stability, for peace, just for today.
Just for today. It's about choosing to inhabit the now with all its imperfections and finding moments of thankfulness right here, even tiny ones.
And this seemingly simple approach, just focusing on today, it allows for monotony, pain, even calamity, to be turned to good use by those who keep on trying to practice AA's 12 steps.
Turn to good use. That's remarkable.
It's not about avoiding hardship because, well, you can avoid hardship in life.
No, it finds you.
But it's about transforming your relationship with it, finding contentment, finding growth, even in the midst of challenges.
Recognizing that every experience, even the really difficult ones, can be a stepping stone if you view it through the lens of spiritual progress and a grateful heart.
It's an incredible shift, isn't it? From being a victim of circumstance to being an active participant in your own growth, no matter what's happening.
And central to all of this daily practice, this cultivation of gratitude, especially within the AA context, is the Serenity Prayer.
Ah, yes. Bill Wilson himself treasured it.
He really did. And its words are so well known but worth repeating. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Such simple words, but they offer this incredibly powerful framework for navigating life's complexities. It's become a touchstone for millions inside and outside recovery rooms.
It really has. It begs the question, though, how specifically does this prayer foster gratitude?
Good question. What's the mechanism?
Well, it seems to work by providing a clear-eyed, realistic way of seeing the world, accompanied by inner peace and strength. That's how Living Sober describes it.
A realistic way of seeing, okay?
It helps us dissipate our old-time and nearly fatal habit of fooling ourselves, accepting reality instead of fighting it.
The fooling ourselves part.
Yeah.
That's about wishing things were different when they just aren't.
Exactly. By accepting what we genuinely cannot change, we stop wasting energy fighting against reality. And that fight is a huge source of suffering, resentment, and frankly, ingratitude.
You can't be grateful if you're constantly railing against what is.
Precisely. And this acceptance, it's not passive resignation like giving up. It's an active acceptance that frees up immense mental and emotional energy.
Energy you can then use elsewhere.
Energy you can use to courageously change the things you can change. And it allows us to be truly grateful for that capacity to act where we can make a difference. And grateful for the wisdom to tell the difference.
It's the ultimate roadmap, really, for navigating life with grace, purpose, and gratitude.
In Bill Wilson's journey, it clearly shows that embracing this kind of gratitude can unlock a spiritual dimension that goes far beyond traditional religious dogma.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about specific beliefs or rituals. It's about connection.
It's about finding a connection to a power greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
And crucially, for those just starting out, maybe people who are allergic to traditional religion, that power can even be AA itself.
The group, the collective strength of the community.
Yes. As Daily Reflections notes, it highlights the really inclusive nature of this spiritual path. It emphasizes connection over rigid belief. Whatever keeps you sober, whatever helps you grow.
That's very practical.
It is. And the beauty of it is, as faith grows, so does inner security. Bill himself experienced this directly. He wrote that the vast underlying fear of nothingness commences to subside through a spiritual awakening.
That deep existential fear starts to lift.
Exactly. And this expanded spirituality, it isn't just an internal comfort blanket. It leads outward. It leads to a greater understanding of my fellow men. It reveals that a new world opened up for him.
From isolation to connection.
It's a journey from profound personal fear and isolation to expansive empathy and deep connection with humanity. It truly transforms your whole perception of existence. You stop being an island, you become part of the ocean.
And this conscious contact with a higher power, whatever you understand that to be, it allows for guidance, right? It profoundly transforms relationships, moving beyond fear and resentment.
Yes, it establishes a relationship with something larger than yourself that can provide direction and strength. It takes the crushing burden off the individual ego, the idea that I have to figure everything out myself.
Which is exhausting.
Utterly exhausting. And it also helps in relationships with others. It helps you learn to, as George Herbert wrote, love your neighbor, yet pull not down your hedge.
Love your neighbor, yet pull not down your hedge. What does that mean exactly?
It means maintaining healthy boundaries while still offering genuine love and connection. You don't have to let everyone walk all over you in the name of love.
Okay, so it's a balance. Self-care and outward compassion.
A beautiful balance, rooted in that spiritual understanding. You can love generously without losing yourself.
Okay, so another vital aspect of this deeper spiritual clarity, the kind fostered by gratitude, is seeing through illusions, specifically what Bill called the lie of alcohol.
Yes, seeing things as they really are.
It begs the question, how does gratitude help us recognize and reject these seductive illusions that hold us captive, whether it's alcohol or something else?
Well, the sources show repeatedly how alcohol, for example, tricks us into giving up things that actually bring us pure joy.
It promises connection, but often delivers isolation. Promises confidence, but delivers regret.
Exactly. It creates a false sense of security, masking genuine happiness. But this lie isn't exclusive to alcohol, is it?
No, definitely not.
It applies to anything we chase, believing it will bring us lasting happiness or security, but ultimately leaves us empty. Compulsive work, maybe? Excessive spending, unhealthy relationships, codependency.
All potential lies. Things we think we need, but actually keep us stuck.
And we are often conditioned to believe many things our entire lives, aren't we? Bombarded with messages telling us what should make us happy.
Society constantly tells us we need this drink, that car, this relationship status to be okay.
Right. In Bill's case, it was the pervasive belief that alcohol calms and relaxes us, gives us courage, and makes us happy. That's from This Naked Mind.
Which, for a time, it might seem to do, superficially.
Superficially, yes. But the harsh reality, as that book points out, is often that people don't actually enjoy drinking but feel deprived and unhappy without it. The pleasure diminishes, but the perceived need remains.
The truth gets obscured by the conditioning, by our own justifications. It makes it incredibly difficult to see clearly without some kind of fundamental shift in perspective.
Which is where gratitude comes back in. By actively embracing a grateful perspective for the simple, true joys of life, a walk in nature, a good conversation, a moment of peace, we begin to appreciate authentic experiences.
Things that were maybe overshadowed before by the artificial highs or the desperate chase.
Exactly. As This Naked Mind keenly observes, a fun evening with friends is fun for every reason except alcohol. The alcohol wasn't the source of the joy, the connection was.
That's a powerful realization for many people.
It really is. And this shift, moving from that short-lived, dopamine-driven liking of drugs or any quick fix, to a sustainable, grateful appreciation for life's actual texture, its real richness, that is a profound and lasting gift.
A gift of sobriety, of spiritual progress.
Yes. This newfound clarity reveals the empty promise of addiction, or indeed any self-deception. And it replaces it with the richness of a life lived with genuine presence, real connection, and deep, abiding gratitude. It's liberation, truly.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, it just feels incredibly clear that Bill Wilson's insights on gratitude, they're not just poignant words on a page.
No, not at all. They're a potent, practical formula for personal transformation.
His extraordinary journey, from that suicidal despair we talked about to a state of profound thankfulness, it offers such universal lessons for anyone seeking a more fulfilling, more peaceful existence.
It really is a testament to the power of shifting your perspective, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
And that core message from, as Bill sees it, that a full and thankful heart cannot entertain great conceits and must surely result in outgoing love. It's just profoundly practical and
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah, it's not passive.
No, it urges us to actively dismantle the ego day by day, to recognize our interdependence with a spiritual principle, with each other, and to contribute positively to the world around us, yes, but also, importantly, to ourselves.
It's a continuous dynamic process, always improving, always learning, always starting again. And it benefits everyone, starting with that conscious choice for gratitude.
And think about where it came from. From the absolute crucible of his own addiction, Bill Wilson forged this pathway, illuminated by gratitude.
Demonstrating how accepting our human limitations, our powerlessness in certain areas, paradoxically unlocks this immense inner strength.
And an almost boundless capacity for connection and love, things he couldn't access when he was trapped in ego and addiction.
It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it, that our most meaningful achievements, our deepest joys, often stem from our deepest acts of humility and thankfulness.
hmm And that even from the lowest points imaginable, a path to profound joy and purpose is always possible. Hope is always there.
So, as you go about your day, maybe consider this. What if the most powerful act of self-care you can practice today, the one that could truly transform your outlook, maybe even your life, is simply to pause? Just for a moment, find one small, genuine thing to be grateful for.
Could be anything. The coffee you're drinking, the sun shining, someone's smile.
Exactly. Find that one thing, and then consciously allow that gratitude to manifest somehow as outgoing love.
Maybe through a kind word you offer someone, a supportive action, however small, or even just a moment of genuine self-compassion, applying that love inward.
What new possibilities might unfold for you, for those around you, if you tried that, just for today?